Hey, I'm back with another video. It's 1:55 p.m. August 7th. I've been doing some thinking, and this relates to people like Elon Musk. And I guess more points are just kind of coming up to my mind as I'm thinking about this. Is the fact that, I understand that Elon Musk must have been a very desperate person, meaning, like, he must have hated his situation and thought that, had such an unrealistic expectation of money, that he thought that maybe in his mind he thought I was rich. Compared to him, he probably thought I was rich. He also felt as though intuitively, I'm getting the message that he thought that I had a lot of magical powers and stuff like that. Some people have very unrealistic expectations as to what magic can do. Like, I can just manifest money. That's not true. Now, I will say, when it comes to me being a good employee, like, or somebody who's able to, I don't like to use the word employee, but somebody who understands how to manage business, yeah, but that doesn't come from magical skill. That comes from actual knowledge. Okay, so it's not like, somebody can say, oh, if I was to be a CEO, which I would never want to be a CEO. If I was a CEO, I would actually earn my way to that position, meaning I know what I was supposed to do in order to keep a company safe, keep a company from reputational damage, make sure that I do not create any sort of violations, and really run a company the way it's supposed to be run, unlike Elon Musk, okay? Elon Musk is nothing but workplace violations, okay? And it's affected the entire country. Aside from that, what I was thinking about, I talked about my stance on marriage, and I talked about, it's not that I feel as though I'm not somebody who's outright like telling people do not get married. I'm saying in my situation, okay, of course, I want nothing to do with, this group of people. See, when people have their groups of people, okay, and, I didn't get along with the kids that I grew up in school with because they were obviously a part of the Nazi, whatever, okay. So then they have all these, associations with, like, celebrities and stuff like that because I'm a clone. Just because I'm a clone doesn't mean I have anything in common with these people. That's the only thing that we have in common. That's it. The message I'm getting right now, they're talking about MK Ultra. Yes, the celebrities were indeed brainwashed. Okay, we know this. Okay, but I'm upset because, I realized today, I was talking to my son's so-called friend. My son is young. Okay, he's young, and he makes mistakes. Okay, and he, thought he was being a friend by letting people borrow money. I'm letting my son know you don't do that. Okay, something about people, me being attracted. Maybe this particular person was attracted to me. I would never be interested in somebody who was in prison. Okay, sorry. Anyway, I want nothing to do with these people. Okay, I don't want anything to do with these people. Okay, you rip my son off, and right there, I'm drawing the line. If he's stupid enough to be your friend, then I don't know what to tell you. I'm telling him, cut you off. You don't deserve. And he's not going to go into, the who, the what, or whatever. Do I believe this person has something to do with human trafficking? I would kind of believe that he does. Okay, my son's never going to admit that. I'm basically saying, you know what? My son's old enough to decide whatever he wants. I am not. Something about me. This person might be a fan of mine or whatever. Look, all I know is you didn't do right by my son, so please drop dead. Please drop dead. I don't want anything to do with you. Okay, you do not burn me. That's all I got to say. Okay. If people are interested in me, I don't know what to tell you. Okay. I am not interested in taking on relationships. Okay. I've just dealt with being a part of a genocide problem. Just because a woman deals with problems doesn't mean, or a woman, how can I say this? A woman grows old. Okay. And she does not, for several reasons, I don't want to get married for my own safety. Okay, I got people like Elon Musk trying to pressure me to take care of his monstrous children and all this other stuff. Okay, obviously he's letting me know he has nothing but abusive behaviors. Okay, I cannot put myself in a situation like that. And other people would probably also feel like competitive towards me because naturally, if I'm somebody who is this cultivated, they would feel like, oh, I'm gonna, they would always do things, little slights and stuff like this. I'm better off on my own. Okay, so I'm trying very hard, to deal with, people who don't understand that. And I get angry because they put me in situations where I have to explain that, and I'm not justified to explain that to anybody. Okay? So all I know is that this particular person, borrowed money from my son. did not follow through. And all I have to say is, I don't want anything to do with you. And yes, something about you, this person with a 949 area code could have very well been associated with what do you call it, a celebrity group. Okay. All of these people that you know, they may not be celebrities, but the celebrity gets in contact with them and starts, asking for stuff. And then this person who is like a street person works out their stuff. That's the end of it. Okay, we are no longer going to have any of these sort of things anymore. We're not having these sort of dealings or whatever, at least not on my end. Now, I told my son today, look, we are being bloodline targeted. We cannot trust people who comes into our vicinity. Hopefully my son understands now. Okay, this dude who did not pay my son back, fuck you a million times over. Okay, I'm going to talk about borrowing money, the subject of borrowing money, because, when I'm going back many years today, okay, I'm going to forsake what I was going to plan to do. I'm actually ahead of my project. I have to write a spiel for when I contact people online, okay, which I jumped ahead and did that last night. Strange, okay, because I really don't like doing work-related things in my own home. You know why? Because to me, dealing with the outside world is bringing negative stuff in there. But something told me, get a jump start on this. So I did. So today I have a free day. I could either go get groceries today, or I could go to the library, or can I sit here and make a video? And I'm just going to make a video. Okay, so today, and I might go to the store later on, or I might go to the library. I don't know. We'll just have a spontaneous day. Okay, but it bothered me that this particular person, knowing that the situation that we're in, deliberately borrowed money from my son and puts him in this situation, refusing to text my son back. Okay, refusing to text my son back. Okay, I hate people like you. Okay, growing up when I was my son's age, a little bit younger than my son. Okay. I was always one of these people that felt sorry for people. So people knew that they could knock on my door. And I used to have people who were so scummy and lazy that they would sit here and keep track of my paydays. This is how they were, okay? So they'd knock on my door on payday. Like, they kept track of this stuff, okay? And then they would sit there and tell me, oh, I'm going to pay you right back. I'm going to pay you right back. I'm going to pay you right back. There was this one lady, okay? And I was pretty naive when I was younger, right? She was in her 60s, a little bit over maybe 65 or so, right? And for some reason, because she was old, I kept thinking, she's got to be a decent person. She's decent. She's old. I mean, she's got grandchildren. She couldn't possibly, do something crooked. But what she was actually borrowing money for so she can get her crack. And when she invited me over one night, right, in the evening to hang out with her and her kid. So I went over to her house, and as I saw her in the bathroom, and she walked out, and then she, dumb enough, right? Because these people, they're not consistent with their lives and their story. She's going to sit here and borrow money from me, right? And act like she can't pay it back. And then she's going to sit here and ask me, do I want to try some of her stuff? And I'm like, oh my God. And then I remember staying up that night thinking, oh my God, she's somebody's grandmother, and she's a crackhead. And yes, I started realizing, what, just because you're old does not mean you're dishonest. You're honest. Okay, some old people, the older they've been, the more experience they've gotten to be, just outright evil people. Okay, so my son believes that, when you say people are going to pay back, I understand people get in financial situations, and that's not our problem. Okay, it's not our problem. Okay, dude, I don't know what your problem is. But you put my family in a financial struggle. And yes, it is. You are responsible. I'm going to tell you why. Okay? When people ask to borrow money and then they don't pay you back, they are inconveniencing you. And this goes in line with the same people who ask money from you. Okay, I'm going to write about this in the Moral Reset. You know why? Because people use other people and they don't pay back money. And then they act like it's not a big deal. It is a big deal. Okay, and you know what a financial hardship it is. So it's basically people want to, borrow from you or take from you so that they can take care of their bills, and they do this habitually. Like, it's okay for me to do this. I find somebody, and they just avoid that person. This person is never going to communicate with my son again. My son's reached out to him several times via text. Okay, dude, are you going to pay me my money back? This is like nothing. And the only reason why I'm talking about it is because it was on my cell phone. That's the reason why I'm talking about it. Okay. So the thing is like, I'm tired of these underground crime syndicates. Do I link this guy with the underground crime syndicate? Yes, I do. Do not show your face around me or my son. Stay away from us with your underground crime syndicate stuff. I should put your phone number in the description box and let Donald Trump know this. It has something to do with my beauty, right? Something about my beauty. Are you one of these people trying to blackmail people or trying to bully people? I will put your phone number in the description box. Do you understand? I'm tired of you low-end criminals. I'm sick and damn tired of you. You think that you ain't gonna do something that's gonna have anybody trace anything back to you. I'm gonna have it traced back to you. You know why? I'm tired of you. I'm tired of you. Okay, I'm putting an end to it. One thing that's slightly off, like today, I got a message from PG&E. PG&E knows, these people know good and well when I get paid, when I get what kind of system I'm on, what kind of thing. They know exactly when I get paid. They know exactly when I get paid. Okay, and they know that that as a group, as a collaborative whole, that they blacklisted me, that they shadow banned me, and they were working in collaboration with these people. So these people know. These people put you in these situations. Okay, it is not a coincidence that you, for example, end up losing your job, right? And then you need to get on EDD, and then your EDD representative decides not to contact you a certain day. That is not a coincidence. Not when you're dealing with human trafficking. It's somebody trying to devise a plan or somebody going along with the plan. Okay, Christians are not supposed to be in charge of government offices. So every time I try to stand up for myself, which I rightfully do, and you do not want to be taken advantage of, I have no reason to pay for Elon Musk bills or anything like that. He's nobody to me. Okay, so then they want to try to retaliate. Oh, well, then we won't pay your PG&E bill. I'm going to raise hell until you do. Okay. This goes for my, yes, and Donald Trump, I'm going to let you know, this goes down for my landlord and everybody else. These trafficking rings are highly orchestrated, and I'm aware of how they work. I'm aware of how they work. Okay, so like I said, I have not checked my PG&E balance online, but when I see my PG&E balance online, I expect my bill to be erased. Okay, I should only owe 1 month of my PG&E bill, and when I get my next paycheck, they will definitely get paid. Okay, I know I get paid in a cycle. I know that my EDD did not get approved until sometime late in June. I will also tell you, when it comes to these sort of assistances, government type assistances, I'm gonna get some drink. They're not expedient enough. Some people could be homeless, and you're not going to actually get funded until like a month, okay, later or something like that. That's unfortunate, okay. If I were you, I would look into that problem. But my point is this: my situation is well orchestrated, and Donald Trump knows it. PG&E knows it. What's his face knows it. Hopefully, he's a dead guy. Elon Musk knows it. Everybody in the White House knows it. Okay. Okay, I'm not going to be coerced into getting married to anybody. Okay, I need to protect myself. And anybody who sits here and tries to put things in a situation is a part of human trafficking. Or trying to make a situation, inconvenience me in a situation because they want to retaliate, because I don't want any of these people. Okay, I don't want to be associated. I don't want my name associated with Elon Musk. I just recently knew this person. I just got to know this person in the last few months. Okay, even when he started trafficking me, I didn't even know who this person was. I'm only starting to see what was going on with Elon Musk when I look at old footage of him. You know what I mean? Then I'm like, oh, okay, this is when he came out, right? This is when people were hyping him up and whatever, okay? Elon Musk had a big head because he had a title with Tesla, and at that point he thought, oh my gosh, and because this is the kind of unrealistic expectations a lot of clones have, or anybody who's never really had any sort of experience with the outside world. Because we make jokes about these sort of things, like, for example, when I was a kid, I used to watch TV, right? And I used to think that, women friendships were normal, more common than they actually are. They're not. TV and stuff like that writes about things that are ideal. Okay? So who's to say Elon Musk could have watched TV shows like, I don't know, shows where like men were calling all the shots, they had great positions, and they would call all the shots on TV. They could affect things that go on and whatever. And he actually thought these sort of things, so he was acting them out. I'm not saying that's the case. I'm just saying it's very likely. Someone like him has never really had any sort of contact with the outside world. So this is the reason why you get some of these people with these big heads thinking, I'm a CEO of Tesla, and therefore I can affect the rest of the world. No, your CEO title is not transferable to anything else. Okay? Just because you mean something to one company doesn't mean that you mean diddly squat to the entire nation. You know, it's just big-headed type stuff that goes on, okay? And as for Mr. Area Code 949, I don't know what your deal was, but the message I'm getting is that I'm making the world better with my information. Okay, so Mr. 949, you are somebody who is not considered to be some ideal friend. Okay, an ideal friend will never allow you to place yourself in a compromising situation. This is why I tell my son, if this person's putting you in pressure, right? He knew that you wanted to make sure that you paid your bill. He knew that I was already stressed out. He didn't care about Houston's mom being stressed out about paying the bill. No, he cared about his immediate need, and he had no intentions of paying back, and therefore I want nothing to do with you. And yes, you are not the kind of person somebody should be friends with. Let this be a lesson to everybody. Okay, because when people sit here and ask you for, oh, let me borrow money from you, and they beg and they beg and they beg, oh, I'll give it right back, I'll give it right back, and they don't give it right back, guess what? They don't care about you, they care about their needs. And this is exactly what this person did. Stop thinking, you know, and this is the kind of people that I decided to cut off, okay? And so hopefully my son will follow suit. Okay, the message I'm getting is that yes, you know, I'm getting protected, meaning like people are seeing that I'm dealing with injustices. Yes, everything that's going on with me is a part of an orchestrated human trafficking ring. For me to take care of Elon Musk's demon children, that's absurd. Okay? And I want to go back into this, you know, how people always get this idea that marriage is the solution to their problem. A lot of times marriage is the addition to more problems. Okay? First of all, let's just say, for example, I was dumb enough to fall for Elon Musk, ignoring the fact that Elon Musk already has wives. Okay, one of his wives was just recently talking about how he owed child support on Twitter. Okay, that's how frustrated she was. She was bringing the subject out in the open. Okay, so I'm supposed to be all starry eyed, but Elon, I love you, right? Okay, so Elon feels like he's going to take advantage of me. Is that what he was thinking he was going to do? No. Okay, I was never that into Elon Musk. I wanted to date Elon Musk, get a chance to know him, pick his brain. That's it. I never had an intention of marrying Elon Musk. Why would I? Okay, but let's just say I did, though, right? Knowing that he is already in an involvement with a few other women. I don't even know how many wives he has, okay? And then he's got his kids. Now, we would get married. Now, let's just say, for example, we were not just married. We were like married in a financial sense. We were actually living together, okay? I would start hating his kids. I would start resenting his kids, and naturally, I'm going to start enacting those natural feelings toward this kid. That could either result in me ignoring the kids, or me getting to the point of where I'm outright just saying insults to his kid, or if I really feel like I've been pressed to the wall, okay, I might even punch his kids in the face. Okay, which is it's totally out of my character. But when you put these sort of things into context, where you've got this asshole who's sitting here trying to force me to be his wife and pay and take care of his disrespectful kids who treat me like nothing, how do you think I'm going to feel? You put people in abusive situations because you don't think about it. Okay, there's no thought into it. All he's thinking is money. You know what? If I was in a relationship with Elon Musk, I would probably end up killing him. Okay, I already told you when Justin Hayward was sitting here trying to you know, be a part or hoover around my Patreon money. I already said, you know what? I would end up killing that person. Okay, you're not gold digging off of me. Okay. Yes, sometimes marriage is walking into a deeper problem. And this goes for anybody. It goes for people like Elon Musk. It goes for women who think they have a bunch of kids and think that a man marrying a man is going to sit here and take care of their problems. You could be putting your kids at risk. Okay, I've heard of so many situations where, you know, women with her daughter, they don't have any way out. They end up marrying this guy. This man's, you know, sexually abusing the daughter. The woman can't do anything about it. She just has to deal with it. You know what I mean? I'm trying to protect myself from abuses, and we've got companies that are collaborating with Elon Musk to abuse me. I don't appreciate that. And this is one of the reasons why I made this video earlier to Donald Trump about PG&E being a part of human trafficking. Okay. I also am getting the message, me and my son are divinely protected. The wheel of death will strike anyone who speaks or even thinks ill towards me or my son. I have to have those sort of prayers prayed up. You know why? Because I'm dealing with human trafficking. So what is going to be happening now? What's up? The message I'm getting right now is that people feel as though I'm going to live a long life, and that they know that I'm not going to get cloned again. Okay. Now, I don't know. Like I said, I reached out to Donald Trump. I'm tired of dealing with people like men, a lot of weak men, okay, control women through their looks, okay, and then also put through stalking programs, okay. Like in this case, Elon Musk wanted to make sure that I was not going to find anyone else, okay. He didn't have to do that. Number one, I am not interested in dating. You know why I'm not interested in dating? Because I cannot get close to people, okay. And once you've been abused by people, okay, and you realize that they're the nature of them, I can't feel for people. I don't have romantic feelings for people. Okay, it would be stupid for me to develop those kind of feelings for anybody after these people have been brainwashed and programmed to kill me. The only thing I look at people as is something like a threat to me. I don't see them as anything else. Okay, and that's realistic. If you have been threatened for over 10 consecutive years with the same nonsense over and over again, tell me how you think you feel. You would feel the same way. Okay, I'm not interested in dating anybody. Not. Okay. When I put on my outfit and I color coordinate my clothes, I'm doing it for me. It's for my emotional well-being. And yes, the message I'm getting is, yes, Elon Musk was a debt slave. He wasn't just a debt slave. He was a desperate man wanting to get out of his situation, and he was hoping that I would fix his problems. This man had already talked about him having affiliations with white supremacy. Why would I do that? Okay, my sister Tanya and Lisa, I was married to a white man who had white supremacy. I learned my lesson. I wouldn't do that again. And I certainly would not be raising children and giving my money to kids who would disrespect me. Okay, and I already talked about how clones lack empathy, the fact that they don't have regular mothers, and his interest in the, what do you call it, transhumanism agenda. Okay, the reason why transhumanism appeals to this group of people, as well as them overly bossing people around in the workplace, dehumanizing them, acting as if they don't have any feelings, and the only thing that you're supposed to be concerned about is the company, is because transhumanism wants to erase human emotion. Okay? I find it fascinating. There's all these kind of people with autism and Asperger's and all these sort of things. I'm wondering, is that some sort of, because some of these people have no empathy. Okay, is this a form of transhumanism in some way? Have these people been created this way? I don't know. I don't want to dig that deeply into it. Okay, I don't believe in transhumanism. It is normal to have emotions, to laugh, cry, sing, dance, act how you're supposed to act. Okay, anything else is outright monstrous and makes it so that you're not normal. It's not normal to not think things are funny. It's not normal to not cry or have compassion. Okay, so yes, they live in a world of wanting to be like robot type people. If that's what Elon wants to be, you go right ahead. But Elon Musk, yes, he was indeed a debt slave. I'm not responsible for his problems. Okay. But yes, oftentimes marriage can be a problem. My sister Tanya thought marriage was a solution to her problems. Her marriage was the biggest problem in her life. And like I said, it is. I am not against people getting married. Okay, I'm against people who outright are into the gold digging thing. Okay, some people want to have children. Some people want to have a family. If you want to have a family, trying to build your family based on being a gold digger, well, you know, the man's not going to, or the couple's obviously not going to care that deeply about each other. You know why? Because the only thing they care about is money. Okay, and like I said, this is one of the reasons why people act all shocked. I laugh when rich people are shocked that their spouses made a murderous attempt on their life. It's like, I can't believe he's trying to kill me. Yes, he wants to kill you. I remember I was talking to one of my neighbors one time, and he was dumb enough to tell me that his wife constantly mentioned to him that he was worth more dead to her than he was alive because he had a shitload of money in life insurance policies. Okay, so no, I don't believe in that kind of marriage. Okay. And see, Elon Musk doesn't think about those sort of things. All he knows is he wants money. And he thinks, and the reason why he thinks I have so much money is because I have more money than he does. Okay. And this is why he gets angry when he sees me going to the dollar store. And this is why I kept thinking, why in the world is he making a big deal? People making a big deal about me going to the, this is stuff poor people do. Okay. The reason why is because celebrities don't have anything. Duh. No, marriage is not his solution. His solution is that he should have stayed the hell away from people making decisions for him. I don't know if he had that choice or not. The reason why I say that is because his family could have been like very forceful with Elon and forced him into these sort of situations. I don't know what Elon Musk's issue is specifically, okay? But I was upset today because, here's the thing. I don't believe in people affecting other people's well-being. Period. Period. Just like Mr. Area Code 949 asking my son for money and stuff like this. Okay, no, that's my son. That's my son's money. Okay, and then you want to inconvenience people and not answer your phone because you're a low life person who knows good and well what you did. You're borrowing money and you're not returning it back. Okay, and see, it's these sort of people that I'm tired of. Okay, when I talk about transforming the world, why can't we only have a world where people actually who are able to work and earn money and produce to society? These are the people that need to live. People who sit here and mooch off of other people, they're not able to take care of them, so they shouldn't be here. They shouldn't be here. Mr. 949, get the hell off the planet. Elon Musk, sad as it is, get the hell off the planet. I'm somebody who can produce, okay? I'm somebody who can work. I have drive. I have ambition. I'm willing to do something. You don't, okay? So I can only take care of so many people, okay? And even if I was a billionaire, I would have the ability, which I'm not a billionaire, but if I was a billionaire, I would decide who my employees would be. I would decide who I would put in my office to help me, to help share the wealth. Okay, but right now I don't have that. I may never have that. All I know is I need to take care of myself, and you prevented me from doing that, and I don't forgive you. Okay, and then because Elon gets frustrated about certain things, right? Things aren't working out for him. He was upset, so he could have very well been the one who made just 45 not pick me up that day. Even though I have every right to stand up for myself, the only thing Elon can do is try to use religion or some sort of propaganda to get people to do what he wants them to do. Okay, so Bus 45, don't pick up Maria. PG&E, you create problems and give her, reverse her bill. Okay, and PG&E is like, oh, I don't know why PG&E would get into an argument like that, because obviously that religion's fake, right? But see, it's about people wanting to play these sort of games. Okay, so PG&E is a part of human trafficking. You guys need to know that. Okay, that means when you get weird issues with your bills, that could be Spectrum, any sort of utility company. Utility companies are part of human trafficking. This has something about me being attractive to other people. Elon does not want people to see me because he thinks I'm going to date. I'm not dating anybody. I'm not dating anybody. Okay, I get up every morning. I'm like, okay, today I'm wearing yellow. I'm wearing yellow. I saw the color app. I'm like, I'm wearing yellow. And I'm wearing the same skirt that I think I wore a couple days ago. Okay? Don't want to get too much into laundry. I said, okay, what else am I going to make today? I want my yellow vibration to go well for me today. I'm going to try to be positive today. It's about my positivity. It has nothing to do with it. I am not interested in dating anybody. Aside from that, you know what I mean? If a man does that to another woman to try to hold her down by financial manipulation, that is exactly what a lot of psychologists and advisors and counselors will tell you to run away from. Those kind of people are abusive, okay? And yes, Elon Musk was responsible for violation of RICO Act. Okay, this is one of the reasons I talked about. That's the only woman by name that I know that is associated by Elon Musk. I know he's got other people. I forgot. I keep thinking. I can't think of the other names. Okay, which goes to show you I know very little about these groups. I only know a little bit about these groups, okay, and these people and who's associated with these people. I do not like dealing or reading about these sort of people. I see, news messages that flash on my newsreel about Elon or flash on any of these people. Okay, I'm not a fan of celebrities. Okay, I don't get into their world. Okay, I'm not responsible for Elon Musk. I'm not interested in dating anybody for real. Okay. Like I said, people know how I feel about people, and I need them to understand that. I am not comfortable with people. I do not trust you. I feel like when I meet people, I expect something might be wrong with them. You know what I mean? This community was in a religious war, a one-sided war. They were all directing it towards me. So do you honestly feel as though I feel comfortable interacting with people? I look at people, and I'm like, okay, let's handle this. You know what I mean? I can't outright trust you. So the dating thing is absolutely absurd. Okay, Elon Musk was an abuser. Okay, he learned abuse from his handlers, and he was acting the same thing out on me. and I'm somebody who is, educated enough to recognize it. It's abuse. Okay. I've read about this sort of stuff. And when it comes to human trafficking, yes, men will put people from different industries, like, for example, men in law enforcement, they will use human trafficking tactics to keep their ex-wives out of the workplace or manipulate their careers. Okay. Elon Musk knew how I felt about this issue. He watched all my videos. This guy is mimicking a lot of my stuff on stage. I've seen him do it, okay? And yet he did it anyway. He does not deserve to have compassion. Okay, it's unfortunate that the situation was made. He was made into this situation. Okay, this is why I'm saying some of these people, like Elon Musk, he was a mistake. He should have never been made. He should have never been made. And who encouraged him to have these children, these diabolical children, who have not been, raised with any real maternal love? Now, do I these mothers of theirs? I don't know. They must have held them in the womb or something. I don't know how these kids were born. Were they breastfed? Did they get enough affection? Were they, I don't know. If they felt resentful to these children, they were put in situations to where they had to give birth to these children. They could have felt resentful to these children and never bonded with these kids. Okay, whatever the situation is, the creation of these children was made under something very dark. Okay, meaning that these women were corralled into these places of work and they were convinced and pressured into having these children. And these children had no reason to live. Why do I say they had no reason to live? Their father was not financially stable. They do not have any way or means of survival. Okay, so it was stupid on their part. Okay, and meanwhile they were talking about, increasing the white race and how superior the white race is. And like I said, they were holding up Elon Musk like he was some sort of the epitome of what people should be. Elon Musk, number one, has Asperger's. His child is dyslexic. Okay, that's their best. Okay, and once again, he's ignorant of the monetary system. So. Yeah, people do realize that this is an injustice. Okay, and this is what I'm talking about: workplace violations. I've been talking about this for very long. This is what I'm talking about with Gordon's occupational engineering. I am the face of the exact opposite of this corrupt type work environment. Okay, what I've seen in the work environment, I never want to emulate. Okay, I don't respect it. Okay, and this is how they wish that it could be. They want it to be like transhumanism. Why would somebody want people to hate their jobs? I don't know. Okay, but I will tell you this is not a good direction. The message I'm getting right now is another death threat, meaning like not negative. It's basically talking about my protection. Okay, about Elon being a debt slave, and I don't know about 949. This is the last time that you will communicate with my son. Okay, we're done. Okay, we're done. I'm speaking on behalf of my son. Even though I'm his mother, even though I know my son is an adult and he should be speaking for himself, I really do feel as though my son is a very ignorant person, meaning he's a sweet person, okay, and he's a very kind person, but he should have never had any dealings with you. You're not a good person. Okay, you've taken advantage of us. Okay, so now I'm sitting here late on my rent all because of you. You're an asshole and you're evil. Okay, and this is what I try to tell people. I try to tell people, set standards for yourself. When I used to live in apartments when I was in my 20s, I had all these people. They wanted to borrow money. Let me borrow money. Let me do this. And my son, he doesn't understand what a true friend is. Okay, my son needs to understand that true friendships are very rare. Very rare. Okay. The other message I'm getting is that my son is now starting to realize, that yes, celebrities are ignorant, okay? And like I said, me and my son are never going to have a conversation about this. The only reason why I brought it up is because I found that text message. And also, I had my suspicions about the people that he knows anyway. You know why? Because I know I'm a victim of human trafficking. When you're a victim of human trafficking, you got celebrities involved, everybody that you come in contact with cannot be trusted. And it needs to be stated. And you know why? Because I have to break down the walls of the human trafficking. All of it. Because I'm tired of dealing with it. I'm tired of carrying the heavy load of something I should have never been responsible for. Now, there's a message going on in my mind, something about me going to the library, okay? Yes, I have been going to the library, and I've been going to different locations of the library. And the reason why is because I need change my scenery. Okay, I get tired of sitting here at the same desk every day. Now I have two desks. I have a lap desk that's on the floor, right? I can put my little laptop on the floor and work that way, or I can work at my front desk. Okay, but I'm still in the same room. Okay, now this trafficking network made it so that my son is moved in with me. Okay, and that should have never happened. It should have never happened. Okay. So that means that I don't have free range in my house. The rooms I used to be able to go into, if I wanted an alternate space to work in, I don't have those options anymore. So I get out of my house. Okay. And they were complaining about that because they didn't want me to meet anybody. You do not have to worry about this. I swear to you. The thing is, I'm not interested in dating Elon Musk. I'm not going to date anybody, and I'm not dating anybody in this community. Okay. Like I said, anybody who's been affected by what the church has put in place about the brainwashing, who believed it and acted on it, I am never going to be interested in them on a romantic level. It's absurd. Okay? I'm not going to hug and kiss and show affection to somebody who, like, just a year ago was planning to kill me. At this point, we're just being professional. We're just moving on. Okay? So the message is that, it was an underground crime syndicate. And yes, I'm 100% free. And yes, when I go out of my house to the library, I need to get out. I don't even buy my groceries. Like today, I'm going to go get groceries, right? And I'm like, okay, either today or tomorrow. Okay. There's times where I get maybe two days worth of food, or maybe 1 day's worth of food at a time. And people are like, why would you do that? Okay. Some people might think it has something to do with me not having a car, right? I've kind of always been this way. But now that I don't, I make sure that I get out of the house every day. Okay. I need sunlight. And the sunlight literally rejuvenates my cells. It rejuvenates me. I'll feel, I feel kind of sad, melancholic, at times. Then also I step in the sunlight. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is what I need. I need the sunlight, and I feel better. It's therapeutic for me. Okay, get out of the house. If you feel like you are stuck in a situation where you're depressed or whatever, you need sunlight. Sunlight is an essential part of human existence. Okay, and now the message I'm getting is that some people felt resentful. I think Elon Musk felt resentful about my father's apparition. Well, it is what it is. Okay, like I said, I'm going to put this into perspective one more time. You left me in a situation where I had no support. Okay, you were even so corrupt that you even tried to corrupt my own child against me, or turn my own son against me. Okay, you made it so that I never had any support. Okay, so then that's when the divine came in. Okay, now I have my support. Is it weird for you? It's divine. Okay, and so that's the way it is. Okay, you isolated me. Okay, you put it so that I had no one to turn to. And then, like I said, you and the whole issue of me and my son, that ends now. Okay, you will not have my son act against me. Also, yes, the apparition is divine. I get a message about my fans. I do have fans, okay, which is weird. I don't really interact with my fans because I believe Elon Musk was manipulating my work. Okay, you will not speak for me anymore. The message I'm getting is there has been newsreels about me. Like I said, the newsreels are so manipulated. I'm never aware of any of that. I don't see what's on the newsreels. You know what I mean? They're just like, I can see, let's just say, for example, if Elon Musk was really dead, then they could sit here and manipulate it so to act like he's not. Like they'll say, oh, Elon Musk is seen in Hawaii or something. This is just an example, right? They can keep me completely oblivious as to how he is because they want to control my reality and what I see. So I don't really pay attention to the news anyway, okay? So I don't really like watching these newsreels in the first place. But do I think that they could create, or they would try to create, a reality so that they could, because these people want to compete. They want me to believe that he's something. I don't care about Elon Musk, especially at this point. Okay, so I understand all the high-tech, internet that we have, the ability to manipulate IP addresses and all that other stuff. I don't know. I could sound a little bit ignorant when it comes to this stuff. I am not somebody who understands computers, but I do understand that they have the ability to alter your reality. Okay, so like, for example, if Elon Musk is dead as well as all his children, they could sit here and show me, act like, there's news reports about Elon Musk being seen with his new girlfriend or something like that to make it seem, I'm not interested in playing games with Elon Musk. Okay, Elon, whether he's alive or dead, this is the end of it. I want nothing to do with him at all. Okay, I want nothing to do with celebrities. Maria is stepping out on her own and she's doing what she needs to do. Okay. That's the end of it. Okay, but I did make a video today because I was upset about this dude, not uh, giving money back. And I was upset because my son, didn't see anything wrong with, you know, letting this issue. Okay, my son needs to understand people cannot be trusted. He cannot be trusted. They cannot be trusted. Okay, especially if we're talking about human trafficking. Okay, and like I said, my son's never going to admit, his involvement or anything like that. You know why? Because it's like it's too deep. Okay, it's too deep. It's not appropriate. Okay, I'm not going to have people spying on me, using my son, defiling my home. Yes, okay, to have a family unit, there has to be a level of respect. There's got to be hierarchy, and I'm my son's mother. Okay, and what these people were asking him to do was disrespect his own family. I am my son's family. Okay, you guys are so wrong. You guys are so beyond corrupt. Okay, it's wrong. Okay, now I had addressed uh, President Trump about the PG&E's involvement, and the message that came up to me is that I freed a bunch of human trafficking. I celebrate. I freed a lot of victims of human trafficking. Okay, PG&E needs to fix this stuff, and I don't know what's going on, but PG&E needs to not comply with these sort of things. Okay, because yes, they need to not do that. Okay, I will tell you, as someone who is just starting out with Gordon's occupational engineering, I have seen the corruption that goes on, and I am committed to never being a part of it. Okay, I believe people should work happy, they should work close to their vision. People had visions of how they wanted their careers to be all their lives. Just like, people who've gone to college, okay? Now, like I said, I've talked about how I feel about college, okay? I think it's a waste of money. But at the same time, I realize there's people who've invested themselves, not just the money, but they've also invested their time, their dreams. They've had a life vision that they wanted to fulfill. And unfortunately, when they get into these companies, it all goes to crap, okay? Because these companies are not professional. They are not skilled. They do not know how to work with people. They do not know how to value skills. And a lot of times you end up getting into working into companies and it becomes political. Okay, and this is not what it is. What I'm about. I'm about somebody who does a good job, who wants to work for a company that is committed and really wants to make a profit. Okay, somebody who really wants to work, what I mean, on a goal, and understanding that work does not have to be laborious, it doesn't have to be tedious. Okay, if people are able to work within a certain vibration, and that vibration is their vision, how can their vision match with yours? And this is what I'm talking about, the intricate nature of human nature. You know what I mean? And this is what I'm working with. Okay, and this is how I'm, and I talked about, me offering certain services like manager or administrative. I understand, like, for example, if I was to work here in Bakersfield and working in a position that some people might be, like, maybe they want me to process payables. Okay, I am still going to uphold my professionalism. Meaning, I'm going to uphold my professionalism. Okay, I believe what I believe. Meaning, and I see things the way that I see things. Okay, I'm not going to sit here and bully up on another employee because everybody's doing it. I'm not going to sit here and condone any of that sort of stuff. I understand if I get hired as like a working to process somebody's payable, I am not in a position to sit here and give my opinion on that. That's not what they're paying me for. Okay, I'm basically saying is I am always going to work in an ethical manner. There is no way in the world I'm ever gonna resort to working in the sort of behavior that I've seen. It's disgusting, and not only that, it's life threatening. It's wrong. Okay, the message I'm getting about Elon Musk is that Elon Musk, the people look at my work as worth. They look at my work and the way that I see things as worthwhile. Like I'm providing information. I am an information provider. Okay, I understand a lot about laws. I understand a lot about, human nature. I understand also about business administration. There's new things that get introduced to business administration, like, team communication platforms and stuff like that. And once you understand those things, you got it down. Okay, but when it comes to business administration, I should be number one person that's always called. Okay, I've dealt with the stifling of being a part of this network for too long. Okay, there's no reason why I shouldn't be working. Okay, I get tired of their stupid things about, oh, well, I want this person as a wife. No, I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way. It's illegal. Okay, and then I also get the intuitive message about something about me adding magic to work. Like I said, people have been burning candles for work a long time ago. I worked at KERO. Roxanne Tillman was burning candles at her desk, right? And so, I started burning candles at my desk, right? And she was doing it. And so I've been doing that ever since. Okay. But see, these people started noticing what I was doing and then they attributed it to magic. Sometimes I would say, yeah, it is something. Like when I was working at Rex's place and I would burn candles, I was like, man, I sure hope he gets more sales because this sucks. Because I get my 50s and I don't have any hope of getting a retirement fund. And these people are making me financially dependent on their stupid operation. And the person they're having me work for isn't making any money. Okay. I don't have time for somebody who wants to retire and not have to worry about. I should have been able to have the control to make those decisions and put myself in a better financial situation, but I was forced into a network. That was illegal in the first place. So the message I'm getting right now is that, yeah, people think it's great that I should live and enjoy my freedom. Okay, mind you, I understand there's certain rules in life. Okay, and I do what I best I can to fulfill them. Okay, but I don't owe anybody to change my life. I don't owe anybody. I ain't get married to anybody. I don't have any respect for Elon Musk's children. I don't have any respect for their children. Okay, I don't even believe that they should even exist, to be honest with you, under those circumstances. Just the very fact that he brought in all those kids and he has no way of taking care of them, I'm sorry, I can't sit here and get behind that. Now, if somebody can financially take care of all their kids, their offspring, and they're able to provide for their needs, okay, I'm going to tell you what, in order to make sure that your kids are properly nourished, right, they're not eating junk food, that's expensive. To make sure they're eating quality food and making sure they're nourished, that's expensive. Okay. Also, making sure that you can fulfill their emotional needs, all of their you can fulfill all your 40. You got time and room to distribute your love to all of those kids, their attention, and to help solve their problems and all their homework and all the other stuff that they bring to you. You can have the strength to do that. You go right ahead. Okay. But for some reason, I believe that he was convinced to have these children out of propaganda. Okay. And like I said, I'm not white, but I can understand white people want to stay white and they want to bring in more people. Okay. Like I said, if you want to bring in more people through cloning, I guess that would make sense. Okay. But here's the problem. Like I said, now that you understand, yes, human emotion, having a mother, okay, a loving mother is important in order to raise children that are well balanced, emotionally well balanced. And like I said, these people are interested and focused on the production of these people, okay, but they're not concerned about the quality of life. They're not concerned about the quality of their life. And mind you, these people are also into transhumanism, okay? So I don't understand why Elon would want to sit here and bring kids into a life that is nothing. Their life means nothing. Okay, so to me, they shouldn't have been born in the first place, and that goes with Elon as well. Okay, I don't know what kind of alien group that these people are. I think they might be Sasani or something. I don't know. Okay, all I know is that I don't want anything to do with Elon Musk. Okay, and the message I get about my father's apparition is that Lancaster is interested in having me back, and that people have noticed that I go out on the town a lot. Like I said, I only go to a few places. Okay, it is important that I get out of the house. Okay, I am not going to be stuck in the house. Okay, and I would never be in a relationship with anybody that would prevent me from living my life, meaning and having other people try to monitor my actions, like make sure my girlfriend doesn't come out of the house or something like that. I would identify that person as an abuser and I would run very far away from them. Okay, and once again, I get the message about people recognize me as an occultist of the free thought movement. Yes, I nowhere did I ever say that I had any. I disregarded the Bible. Nowhere did I ever say that I had any. I've quoted the Bible myself. Okay, but like I said, there's certain things that are in the Bible that should not be applied nowadays. Okay, obviously women need the ability to take care of themselves. Okay, they need the ability to be able to protect themselves. Okay, especially when you're dealing with men who can abuse them. What else message I'm getting? Um, I expose the industry and have proved that Christians exploit celebrities while whether wearing sexy clothing. I had made a video just recently, and it's on my other channel. And I will, when I make the announcement, hopefully you guys will check that out if you haven't already. I don't even really check my other YouTube, but I did talk about this issue about how the celebrities were trying to act like they didn't want to talk to me because I was wearing makeup and I was wearing nice clothes. Okay, And see, this was one of the things that was preventing them from talking to me. At first, I kept thinking, why are they doing that, right? Now that I know what celebrities really are, I don't care about them communicating with me at all. I really don't, okay? See, I didn't understand all of that first. I kept thinking, why? What did I do? I didn't do anything wrong. It's all about them trying to control me like they have been controlled, okay? They deal with people who abuse them in this sort of manner, and then they think it's okay. Number one, they were trying to prevent me from looking the way that I do, because I do. I enjoy my clothes. That's the only thing in this life I have left to enjoy, okay? So they wanted me to be something that I wasn't. So they didn't think about how hypocritical it is when they're sitting there at the awards, or they're out there, on some sort of gala dressed up half naked, and they're sitting here wearing fully dressed in whatever. Okay, the message I'm getting right now is, yes, celebrities are hypocritical. And yes, I do understand that my son is familiar with these sort of people. Yeah, I do believe he's had some sort of communication with these sort of people. And like I said, the reason why these celebrities disrespected, they would try to encourage my son to disrespect his own mother, okay, is because they don't understand the hierarchy of a family unit. And the reason why they don't understand the hierarchy of a family unit is because these people were created in incubators and whatnot, okay? I'm going to tell you right now, you stay out of my family home, okay? You have defiled my family home. Do you understand what I'm saying? You do not make it so that my son keeps secrets from me. You have offended me, okay? And you've disrespected me, okay? You do not do that, okay? I will tell you, it is sad that I did not have a real family, because I have the capacity to love a family, okay? And I love my son, meaning I'm protective of my son. I'm aware of my son, and I care about his feelings, okay? I do. I care about his feelings, okay? Today he was upset. He doesn't want to share his feelings because he doesn't want to know. He can't tell me, or he doesn't feel comfortable about telling me about this human trafficking ring or whatever, his association with it. I think he's a little bit uncomfortable with it, okay? You have caused nothing but problems. It's shameful what you did. It's shameful what you did, okay? And then we have Mr. Area Code 949 who wants to sit here and borrow money and not pay it back. You are a shameful person. I hate you, okay? I get the intuitive message that he recognizes me as the savior. Isn't it funny how so many people just dump on the savior? They recognize me as a savior, and I'm not even going to get into all of that savior stuff. I really am not going to, okay? All I'm saying is that these same people who act like they're God-fearing, okay, when they see somebody who has high godly principles, they disrespect them. Well, you can't take your problems and put them on me, okay? So you put us in a financial hardship because of your selfishness. You are a bad person, and I don't respect you, okay? You've caused enough problems, and you will leave me and my son alone. The other message I get is, yes, people expect me to wear decent clothes at work. Yes, I do wear decent clothes at work, okay? I believe in that. I believe it's professionalism, okay? And I resent the very fact that people were honed in on what I was wearing at work tells you right there they don't know anything about sexual harassment. That's exactly what it is, okay? If a person is well dressed and taking care of themselves, people think maybe it's because they feel like that if I was had nice clothes, I'd want everybody to see me, or I would make a big deal out of it. Maybe their insecurities would make them do that, okay? For some people, we believe that this is how you're supposed to be. You're supposed to coordinate your clothes. In my mind, I'm supposed to coordinate my clothes. That's who I do. That's what I do. Okay, why? Because it brings me emotional balance. No one else is going to give me emotional balance, okay? People next door aren't going to give me emotional balance. My neighbors aren't giving me emotional balance. And the mayors, the president, I like Donald Trump, but he's not going to give me emotional balance. It's impossible for people to give you emotional balance. The only person who's going to give that to you is you. Okay, and that's given to you by the things that you enjoy and the things that you do. And I don't enjoy other people, but I tell you one thing I do enjoy. I enjoy my arts and crafts. I enjoy my clothes. I enjoy my makeup. I enjoy wearing, knowing exactly what I'm going to wear the next day. Okay, this is what gets me out of the morning, gets me up and gets me moving. And like I said, when it comes to my career, it is no longer a motivational point for me to get up to work for corporate America. Why? Because Elon Musk and these stupid CEO culture people, they want misery in the workplace. To me, it's like you're demonic if you want people to be suffering in the workplace. They don't care about your emotional well-being, okay? But they want to put you in these situations. If you are in this situation, you're not going to produce good work. You're not going to produce good work, okay? It's about you being unhappy, being agitated, and it's that whole setup is ridiculous, okay? I understand that, like I said, some of these people I've traveled with in my past life, I will probably tell you, I don't think I must have felt any sort of emotion or any sort of affection to these people that I had in my past life. Why? Because it seems like they've always been abusive. They've always been abusive. Okay, they probably the same people could probably maybe Elon Musk in a past life could have been the same people who were sitting here causing problems for me as Stevie Braganza. I'm not putting up with it. Okay, if you were not formally told that your actions were wrong back then, I'm telling you right now. Okay, you live like a fucking animal. You act like a fucking animal. Okay, no civilized person would be doing what you do. There is words and terms and definitions to give to people who do things that you do. Okay, you're a human trafficker. Okay, you're a workplace violator. Okay, you're a borderline rapist. Why do I say that? Because you may not be sexually raping me, but you certainly make it a point to rape me in other ways, emotionally, financially, and everything. Mind you, you have no right to do that. Okay, just like a violator of somebody's body has no right to do that, you have no right to sit here and violate me that way. Okay, but you do so anyway. Okay, and you abuse your power. If you really were a CEO of a company, I would have you step down from your position. Okay, because you're making the company look bad. What else? Okay, the message I'm getting right now is that it makes sense for me to like my stuffed animals. Yes, it does make sense for me to like stuffed animals. Okay, I have the capacity to love and adore things that are cute. Okay, I do not get that sort of joy and pleasure from people. Okay, most people were that I knew were willing to stab me in the back. Okay, so like I said, I find the things I find cute are stuffed animals, dolls, whatever, or Hello Kitty. Those little things are cute for me, and that's what I use. You know what I mean? And I surround myself with that sort of stuff. Okay, and that's my choice. Okay, it doesn't mean that I'm mentally ill. No, in fact, I feel as though that is a solution to a very serious problem. If somebody is being isolated and being abused, they need something, and if they don't have something, then it's wise for them to create something, an alternative. Okay, just like there's certain, like for example, I was talking about the cloning issue. Okay, it is important to have emotional bonds when you are to be emotionally fulfilled, to be confident, a confident, well functioning person. Yes, having emotional stability. Okay, ideally, you want to have parents who fully want you here and have a vision and an idea as to why you should exist. Okay, so if people want to continue the cloning issue, you may not have the ability to breastfeed. Okay, I don't know if some of these people had the ability to breastfeed or not. If they impregnate you, then you might be able to breastfeed. Okay, it would be good if you did, but it would if you had children born under circumstances like okay, I don't know if Siobhan Ellis was happy when she brought these children into being or not. I really don't know. But if she felt resentful towards them, she may not have bonded with them that well. Okay, but one thing is for sure, their emotional needs need to be taken care of, and they should not be treated like commodities. Okay, otherwise you're bringing people onto this earth for no apparent reason to live. Okay, Elon Musk just produced 14 more debt slaves, is basically what he did. Okay, he had no idea what he was doing. Okay, and this is what I'm saying. It's like people follow into believing other people's stuff and they really don't know, you know. And I get the intuitive mess, something about me and my father's apparition. He might have made money off of my father's apparition or whatever. Okay, which, like I said, I'm so tired of these low life people exploiting me and then grinning in my face and then trying to critique me how I'm supposed to, present my own work. I can't tell you how offended I am. Okay, but like I said, I do have some compassion for him because what else is Elon Musk going to do but be a criminal? That's all he knows how to do. Okay, which is why I'm saying is people like that, if that's how you're going to be, then you don't deserve to be here. Okay, and this goes for 949. I already know that my son told me that he did tell me that you were in jail. Okay, and like I said, I don't know what for, but it could have obviously been financial fraud. I will tell you right now, you do not affect me. Okay, I don't want anything to do with you. Stay away from my son, and drop all of it. All of it. before you even think of trying to do something else manipulative, okay? And if I feel like there's anything wrong, I have that number saved in my phone. I will tell you what, I will flash your number all over this place. I will preach it to the person at Walmart and anyone else who will hear it. Okay, I will put it in a flyer, tell everybody else with this person that you leave me the fuck alone. And you leave my son alone. Anyway, the message I'm getting from Donald Trump is that my income will be protected. I appreciate that, Donald Trump. Okay. People want to meet me. And I guess Donald Trump is a fan of the apparition of my father. Trump acknowledges the fact that Elon was a debt slave. I remember seeing Elon in the White House with his child, right? Now, this is another thing. In my video, Human Targets, I talk about child soldiers, okay? Child soldiers are used in different religious groups as well as political groups, okay? And I would say there could have very well been where Elon was using his child as a child soldier. And what I mean by that is, like, for example, there was a time where people were pissed off. Remember when they were burning up Teslas and stuff like that, right? I get the feeling that there were people that were after Elon Musk and possibly trying to either kill him or harass him. He did something to where people were acting out stuff, okay? And he could have very well used his son as a way of trying to deter people from shooting him. Okay, in this case, he would be using his child as a child soldier. Okay, I'm talking a lot about certain issues in my human trafficking target, and I just flashed to my mind. Okay, I did also recall seeing a video clip of Elon Musk getting off of an airplane, and then his son like walking all the way by himself. Like his son was just like behind Elon, and Elon was just like walking way ahead of him in a crowd. Now, what if his son accidentally walked into the crowd and ended up getting lost, okay? The sad part is I don't think Elon Musk cared. Okay? This is what I'm saying. It's like these children that these people create for no apparent reason. Okay? Elon Musk was a child soldier. I really do believe that he was. The intuitive message I'm getting right now is that people believe that I can improve the school system. I've always been concerned about how my knowledge was going to mesh with the outside world. And the reason why I said this is because I understood what mainstream thinking was. Mainstream thinking was out there and flourished because it wanted people to think one way. Okay, to basically fall into this agenda that it's fell into right now. Where we have people persecuting us. People don't know that there's freedom of religion. People walk around, they're so ignorant. It's absolutely scary. Okay, and the very fact, like I said, that they upheld Elon Musk like he was like the creme de la creme. Okay, like I said, Elon Musk is a defect. Okay, that everybody thought he was so great they had to make 14 more of him. Okay, I see stuff, and when I see stuff, like I said, that's why I don't watch the news, because I don't want to have to formulate an opinion about what goes on around my world, because when I find out what goes on around my world, I have an opinion about it, and it bothers me. So yeah, Elon Musk was a big mistake. Big mistake. Okay. Anything else I want to talk about? The message I'm getting right now is that people feel as though I'm going to live a long life, which I'm like, okay, well, I'm trying to prepare for that long life that I have to live. And unfortunately, people have put me in a situation, like, right, I'm 54 years old. I feel like I should be working consistently instead of being on EDD and all this other stuff. Okay. And I'm great for the EDD department. Okay. But my point is that I have always wanted to work from, through all the seasons, through all the years. I do not like having people coming in, like these stupid Christian groups, vigilante groups, coming into the workplace, causing problems, talking about what pissed me off about them bitching about my lunchbox. Okay, now, the average lunch, okay, there's every once in a while, I'll take myself out to lunch. You know why? Because people, I need to get out of the house, okay? And you should go and make some time for yourself, okay? So every once in a while, like a couple days ago, I went to Chipotle, right? And I think Chipotle is expensive, but I like their food, okay? So I go out to lunch, right? And so they were bitching at me for bringing my lunchbox to work, right? Now, the average lunch nowadays, remember back in the day where $5, you could feel it for $5. And I don't eat junk food. I don't eat fast food anyway, okay? But they get upset when you bring your own lunch in your lunchbox, But then they would really get pissed off if you spent over $20 for your lunch every day. Okay? So this is the illogical behavior of traffickers. And the reason why is because they don't really like you. Okay? And so Elon Musk was willing to marry someone that he really didn't like, meaning like he doesn't like the lunchbox. He thinks I'm too extra, but he thinks because I'm not the way he wants me to be, he thinks he can formulate me into what he wants to be. Because he always had to bend and mold to what his handler said, and he thinks that he can do that same stuff to me. I'm sorry, I understand my rights, and I'm telling you to go fuck off. Okay. And yes, I like my lunchbox. Okay, I like my lunchbox. And I don't see anything wrong with it to bring lunch and food and snacks for yourself. Okay, I think it's a good idea to make sure that you have food for yourself. And yes, I do. I have a lunchbox, especially now. I don't have a car. That way I would bring my own lunch. It should be something. Yeah, okay, everybody's talking about Elon Musk being a debt slave. People look at me as someone who's intelligent. And what else is the message I'm getting? That's it. That's it. Okay, so I'm going to wrap up this video. I didn't mean to be talking about this for like an hour. It's just that I'm so pissed off. Like, the whole issue of this guy not paying my son back his money, and then me getting a notification from PG&E, I felt as though, I'm tired of the trafficking. So this is one of the reasons why I did a video earlier today. I understand what's going on. Anything that happens, I understand what it is. It's a direct result of the trafficking program. Okay? That means if I encounter anybody who acts in any way out of the ordinary, I'm blaming it on the trafficking issue, and I'm going to assume that they are a part of it. Period. Okay? So wrap up your shit and knock it off. Okay? And anyway, I'm going to wrap up this video. I think I said enough. I think Donald Trump knows what I'm talking about. Donald Trump looks at me as somebody who feels like I have to have the finest. I am not somebody who is like an elitist in any way, okay? Maybe he thinks I'm prissy a little bit, okay? I will tell you that I try to make my environment as well as I possibly can because I do not deal with good people, okay? I deal with corrupt people. And once I'm done with the corruption, I usually want to come home and take a shower, a bath, relax, and treat myself, like take care of myself. Because after I've dealt with that sort of evil, I need to, align, get myself all adjusted, and feel, comfortable again. Okay? I would say that Elon Musk was a demon. He was a straight up demon. Poor guy. You know what I mean? Do I think he was evil? I think he was corrupt by default. Okay? He was a corrupt person. Looking at it deeper. All right. So wrapping up this video. Take care. Bye-bye. Oh, yeah, the other thing is, unfortunately, when you're in my situation, I don't really have anyone that I could trust. And so that's another issue when it comes to stuffed animals. And like I said, there's a lot of people who are put in solitude or isolation, and they might choose animals or stuffed animals or stuff like that. So it's an alternative, okay? It is an alternative. I am well-rooted in reality, meaning I know right from wrong. I can make decisions. I am not a harm to myself. I'm not a harm to others. I'm not delusional. I know I'm dealing 100% with reality, okay? So no, there is nothing wrong with using a stuffed animal or stuffed doll or something like that when you're dealing with some sort of emotional pain, or if you just want to have, you just want to feel loving towards something. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? I get the message that people are talking about Elon right now, and people think that I'm going to have an amazing autumn. I hope so. I hope so, okay? I'm looking forward to making my announcement about... I call it GO, okay? Gordon's Occupational Engineering is, the acronym is GOE, and it would be pronounced GO. So I'm calling it GO, GO. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to making the announcement on GO. I just like, I have different steps. I need to make list of people that I want to contact. And then hopefully I will meet some stragglers as I go along, okay? I would appreciate your support. The thing is that it's unfortunate that Elon was trying to play sides, okay? He was making it so that I did not have a voice, and that he was speaking for me and putting me into abusive situations. He was keeping me hidden on social media. He was blacklisting me. He was shadow banning me, and then he had the nerve to control my work, okay? Elon is a criminal. He is a criminal by default, meaning that he was raised as a clone. He has been used and abused in the close proximity of his handlers, and he does not know any other way. He is not the brilliant person that people have talked about. I even thought he was brilliant when I first heard of him, because I only heard of him. I only saw him on these segments. And since there was so much hype about him, I kept thinking, well, he must do something. I mean, he's on this, right? I haven't really started researching into Elon Musk until just recently. Okay. Elon Musk is some sort of like, I don't know, decoy, a puppet, or whatever. I don't know or he comes from this Christian organization, okay? And I do know that he had some time in the White House with Doge or whatever. And it's very important that we make sure that people who could possibly be threats not enter the White House, okay? And I do believe that Donald Trump probably did a lot of was being very compassionate to Elon, because I do believe that he thought that Elon was kind of a loser, but he was being nice to him. You know what I mean? And that was nice. I understand how awkward that would be when you're dealing with someone like that. And he probably let him stay in the White House for a little bit, because he had to give him a place to stay. But Elon was a desperate man, and it's not my responsibility to carry his burdens. Okay? Wrapping up this video. Bye-bye.